Good morning, students. Today I am going to start chapter number 5, the judiciary from civics. And today's topics are: what is the role of judiciary, dispute resolution, and judicial review. And topic number 2 is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Topic number 3 is what is an independent judiciary. And topic number 4 is what is the structure of courts in India. So students, in my previous explanation, I told you about the rules of law. And the rules of law means that laws which apply equally to all persons and that a certain set of fixed procedures need to be followed when a law is violated. And students, our Constitution of India secures justice to all its citizens apart from securing liberty, equality, and promoting fraternity. So students, to enforce this rule of laws, we have a judicial system that consists of the mechanism of courts that a citizen can approach when a law is violated. And students, the meaning of violation is breaking of law, disobedience, etc. All right. So student, as I told you, justice, which is the soul of a democratic society, must be administered without fear or favor, and integrity, impartiality, and intelligence are some of the important characteristics of the independent judiciary in a democratic setup or democratic country. So students, therefore, the judiciary plays a crucial role in the functioning of India's democracy. And on the basis of this overview, your topic number 1 is what is the role of judiciary. So students, to secure or safeguard for the people, courts take decisions on a very large number of issues. For example, courts decided that no teacher can beat a student, or about the sharing of river waters between two states, or they can punish people for particular crimes. So students, the work that the judiciary does can be divided into the following. Number 1 is dispute resolution. So students, the judicial system provides a mechanism of courts for resolving disputes between citizens and the government, and two state governments and the central and state governments. Okay. And next work is judicial review. It means the judiciary has the power to strike down particular laws passed by the parliament if court believes that these are a violation of the basic structure of the constitution. It means students, the judiciary can change or stop to implement any kind of law, whatever, and there is no matter it is passed by the parliament. So judiciary is very keen to see all the rules and regulations whatever implemented by the parliament in India. And judiciary check out that laws which are passed by the parliament, those laws are good for the citizens or not. All right. After that, your next topic is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. So students, as I told you, every citizens of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if her fundamental rights have been violated. So students, this term we will understand with the help of one example. Students, Hakim Sheikh, who was an agricultural laborer who fell from a running train and injured himself, and whose condition got worse because several hospitals refused to admit him. Why? Because he was poor and he cannot afford the expenses of the private hospitals. So students, finally he filed a case in a Supreme Court, and on hearing his case, the Supreme Court ruled that Article 21, which provides every citizen that the fundamental right to life also includes the right to health. It means Article 21 provide us fundamental rights. Number one is right to life and right to health. Understood? So therefore, directed the West Bengal government to pay him compensation for the loss suffered, as well as to come up with a blueprint for primary health care with particular reference to treatment of patient during an emergency by the Supreme Court. And this case, famous as the name of Paschim Banga Khet Mazdoor Samiti versus State of West Bengal. Understood, students? Okay. After that, your next topic is what is an independent judiciary. So students, this term we will understand with the help of one example. For example, a situation in which you and your family trapped, like a powerful politician has taken your land which is belonging to your family, and when your family has filed a case in a court due to the having political power by that politicians, the politicians has to power also to appoint and dismiss a judge from his office. So students, the control that the politician holds over the judge does not allow for the judge to take an independent decision. So students, this lack of independence would force the judge to make all judgment in favor of the politicians. So students, this is not an example of an independent judiciary. So students, it means if judicial system will also dominated by some powerful person or politicians, and there is no any fair law for common people. So this is also an example of a violation of law, and there is no any judicial independency. All right. So students, the Indian Constitution protects against this kind of situation by providing for the independence of the judiciary. All right. Number one is judiciary is the guardians of the constitution and defender of fundamental rights of the people. And for performance of this role, it is essential that the judiciary must be independent. All right. Point number two is India has an independent judiciary that allows the courts to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and the executive also. And point number three is it plays a crucial role in protecting the fundamental rights of citizens because anyone can approach the courts if they believe that their rights have been violated. Understood? Okay, students. After that, your next topic is what is the structure of courts in India. So students, there are three different levels of courts in our country, and several courts are at the lower level while only one at the apex level. So students, number one level of court is district level or subordinate court. So students, most people interact at this level, and each district is presided by district judge, and these are usually at the district or tehsil level or in towns, and they hear many kinds of cases. All right, and each state is divided into districts that are presided over by a district judge. All right. After that, next one is state level court. So high court is the highest court of the state. Remember it. And next one is Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court of India is the highest judicial authority, and it is located in New Delhi and is presided over the Chief Justice of India. And the decisions made by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. So students, now you can understand that what is the connection between the court in our area and the Supreme Court in New Delhi. Understood? Okay. So students, in India, we have an integrated judicial system. It means that the decision made by higher courts are binding on the lower courts, as all these different levels of courts are connected to each other. Understood? And after that, this we can understand on the basis of appellate system. It means that a person can appeal to a higher court if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just. And this system exists in India. And it is the another way that defines the integration of all the levels of court. So students, to understand this topic, we have to understand that what is the appellate system by tracking a case, state or Delhi administration versus Lakshman Kumar and others of 1985. Alright. So students, it was a case of domestic violence by the Indian Federation of Women Lawyers against the accused Lakshman Kumar and his family members. It is a criminal case also, and the victim was Sudha Bose. So students, Shakuntala and Srinivas were living with 4 sons, Subhash, Lakshman, Vinod and Ram Avatar, and 2 daughters. Subhash was married to Madhu and Lakshman was married to Sudha, who was the victim. So students, on 1 December 1980, after 9 p.m., the neighbors of Sudha heard screams for the help and ran to her house. They saw Sudha in fire and Lakshman and Subhash nearby. Anyhow, the neighbors put out the flame and took Sudha to the hospital, accompanied by her husband and sister on the way. But sadly, Sudha died next day morning at the hospital. But Sudha had given an oral declaration and had signed a written statement accusing her mother-in-law in the act. After that, the case was tried by the Delhi court and the accused Shakuntala, Lakshman and Subhash were convicted of murdering Sudha based on the evidence. But they appealed to the High Court, which gave a judgment that Sudha had died of accident and set the 3 free. And women of all over India started opposing this verdict and filed a case through the Indian Federation of Women Lawyers in the Supreme Court. So students, finally in 1985, the Supreme Court heard this appeal against the Lakshman and the 2 members of his family. The Supreme Court heard the arguments of the lawyers and reached a decision that was different from that of the High Court. They found Lakshman and his mother guilty, but acquitted the brother-in-law Subhash because they did not have enough evidence against him. Understood? And the Supreme Court decided to send the accused to prison for life. So students, on the basis of this case, you can understand that how you can appeal for fair justice in High Court if you are not satisfied by the judgment of District Court. And again, if you are not satisfied by the judgment of High Court, then you can file your case in Supreme Court. And the judgment of Supreme Court will be the last judgment, and it will follow by all the judicial system of India like District Court and High Court. Both have to follow and obey the judgment of Supreme Court, whatever given. Alright students, so now you can understand on the basis of the structure of courts in India that how you can appeal in the court or file your case in the court for the equal justice. Understood? So student, please listen my explanation very carefully, and if you have any doubt or confusion, then please contact to me. And students, I want to clear you that the meaning of acquitted is free someone from a criminal charge by a verdict of not guilty. For example, the brother-in-law of Sudha, Subhash, was acquitted by the court because they did not have enough evidence against him. Alright students, understood? Okay, thank you and have a nice day.